and do it on site?
Good question. The website is www.tvjs.org. And then go on the website to get information about the Jazz in School program, or call me at 851-7402.
Okay, we had some questions. It is hard to play the keyboard. Is it hard to play the keyboard and sing at the same time?
No.
Who is the most important jazz musician of all time? These are coming from Ed White. Who would you say is the most important jazz musician of all time?
There isn't really a most important jazz musician.
How about most influential then?
Well, you would have to answer that with another question, you know, most influential on what part of jazz, you know. On the blues, like we were saying, Bertha Cool, Miles Davis is one of the major influences on that type of jazz music. On bebop, I think Charlie Parker is one of the most influences on that type of jazz. So it depends on what era of jazz you're asking about.
The first question was Victoria Ice Gibson. The second one is Imani Summers. They're both from Ed White. Now, Sherelle Williams says, what is the most popular instrument in the jazz band?
Good question.
It's got to be the saxophone.
Everybody thinks
Good
their
question.
instrument is the most popular instrument. I guess it depends on who you ask or how well the people play at the time. How long, Victoria also asked, how long do y'all practice a song before you perform?
We practice until the time we learn how to play, until the time we go up on stage. I mean, practicing never stops. You're practicing all the time.
But if you introduce a new song, you may practice it for how long before you perform it for a live audience?
Depending on the difficulty of the song, anywhere from several months to a year or a couple of weeks.
Yeah, well, that's kind of like theater. Sometimes you throw it together to get it out there in time. Imani also asked, how many girl jazz musicians are there? That's probably going to be hard to say, but we did name a number of them. But what would you say? Can you think of a percentage of women versus men, or anything, any facts or figures?
Well, there are, I think, very many female jazz vocalists, more than there are female jazz instrumentalists. And
you're both, right? You sing and play.
Yeah, I am both. And I think that's because a lot of the big bands back in the 20s and things, they liked to, you know, bring on singers, male and female, and a lot of times they like to put a nice pretty singer up in front.
Okay, we did have How Did Jazz Come About or Get Started, and Imani said who created jazz and where did it start. We basically did address that through the slave and the blues and so forth. Okay, here's one. Victoria also asks, how many types of jazz are there?
Well, gosh, there are many, and they're still growing now. Let's see, sort of the timeline. We start with, what, Ragland, blues, Dixieland, then we get into the I guess, what would you call it, swing era, then bebop, then what do they have now? They have what they call smooth jazz, and that's not really jazz.
Be nice now.
Jazz kind of catches
nice
everything that doesn't get classified somewhere else.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
That's why they say got all that jazz, or it's good enough for jazz because you can fit it in somewhere.
Yeah, you can sneak it in there.
Now, remember, that's TV Jazz Society at bellsouth.net. That is the email. And we also had the phone number up, 851-7402. And the website is tvjs.org. If you're interested in finding out more about jazz or having it come to your schools, and I think I would have loved that when I was a kid, go ahead and give them a call or an email, and you can arrange that. Now, we want to thank Howard and the gang from TVJS for entertaining us all today. And we want to thank you and the classrooms for joining the Arts Council and ETV to help make this educational series fun and entertaining. We also want to remind you that Panoply is coming up, and we're going to have a lot of musicians there. That's the 25th to the 27th of April. That's the next big Arts Council thing. www.panoply.org. Lots of free activities for the kids, lots of opportunities for music, dance, theater, sculpture, any number of visual arts. It's really great. It's down at the Big Spring International Park, the same place that we did Jazz in June this year. So as we close, do we have anything else we can play on the way out? play us out.
Sure. Yeah. Actually, you know, I think let's do All of Me. Let's end with a uppity one. So instead of the ballad. Is that
All right.
Actually, we were going to do a blues, a bebop.
Well,
Y'all can do
that'd
a
be wonderful. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, this is a Charlie Parker tune. Billy's
Okay,
band.
cool. Take it
That's
away,
even
and they're
better.
going to play us out. Thanks, you guys, for coming. The TVJS.